We've got some big news because Intel finally have chosen their new CEO. It's been a couple of months since Pat left the company, and we're all wondering when they're going to announce the new CEO and who that is going to be. Well, it's a familiar name, it's a familiar face, because he knows Intel, because he was on Intel's board until last August. So that's quite good. The market's reaction is also quite positive. At the time of making this video, stock is up 10.8%. Now, Intel went under $20 yet again a couple of days ago. We're now closer to $23. So, who is this new CEO? What has he done in the past? And do I think this is a good move? Of course, I think this is a good move because this is someone with a lot of experience. So I'll explain a bit more throughout this video. If you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if not, we really appreciate that. If you want to support me even further, do check out the link down in the description and in the pinned comment to the top 10 best stocks to buy now, or go to fool.com/couchinvestor. Thank you very much. Now, for those that are new here, yes, I am an Intel shareholder, and of course, I am in the red at the moment. Although, a couple of weeks ago, I was actually break even and a little bit in the green. But yeah, since then, we went back to $20, now at $23. I think Intel, with a market cap of what now, over $90 billion, it just doesn't make much sense. It's a company that's priced as if it will go bankrupt. And I know plenty of people will say, oh, but they are going bankrupt. Well, I don't think they are. Anyways, the new CEO is Lip-Bu Tan. You might have known him because, well, he was on the board at Intel for 2 years. He was the CEO of Cadence Design Systems for 13 years and 3 months, and then he was the executive chairman and an advisor at the company until March 2024. Now, during his tenure at Cadence, look at what has happened. Look at what has happened with the stock. It says here October 2008 up until December 2021. Look at what has happened with the stock. Over 4,000% increase. I'm not saying we're going to see the same thing with Intel, but this does not happen if the CEO is not a good CEO, if he does not know how to run a business, especially one that has been struggling for a while and has seen a huge turnaround. And he was also a board member at SoftBank Group. Now, you might remember last year in August, we had this headline from Reuters. Intel board member quit after differences over chip maker's revival plan. Well, to cut costs, Intel announced in August layoffs of more than 18% of its workforce. Its second round of cuts in 2 years. Intel had nearly 125,300 employees, which, by the way, is more than AMD and Nvidia together, just so you know. The layoff plan was one source of tension between Tan and the board. According to sources, Tan wanted specific cuts, including middle managers who do not contribute to Intel's engineering efforts. Gelsinger, who took over in 2021 as part of a turnaround plan, added at least 20,000 employees to Intel's payroll by 2022. To Tan and some former Intel executives, the workforce appeared bloated. Yeah, no kidding. Teams on some projects were as much as 5 times larger than others doing comparable work at rivals such as AMD. One former executive said Intel should have cut double the number it announced in August years ago. Well, if we're being honest here, I mean, of course it's not nice to say, but yeah, we shared the same opinion. Tan has told people he believed Intel was overrun by bureaucratic layers of middle managers who impeded progress at Intel's server and desktop chips division, and the cuts should have focused on these people. We've seen these cuts at Meta, for example, right? We've seen basically a removal of middle managers. And I mean, we've been talking about Intel for quite a long time, either it's on this channel or during the live stream. I've been saying this for a while now. I also think that the board at Intel needs way more semiconductor experience, not just the MBA folks, but way more experience in the semiconductor industry. Now, of course, with Lip-Bu Tan coming in with the other two that they announced late in 2024, that's already, I think, a good start. Would not be surprised if he starts doing a major overhaul of the board, and I would not be surprised if Pat Gelsinger is going to be back on Intel's board. That's just my prediction. Oh, and by the way, it says here, Intel's workforce back then, which is larger than those of Nvidia and TSM combined, has led to a complacent and uncompetitive culture far from the only paranoid survive. Great book, by the way, from Intel's co-founder Andy Grove. Very, very good book. And I mean, yeah, this just goes to show that when you become too big and you think you are in a very comfortable position, you start doing things like that. We've seen that with all the big tech players as well. That's why all of them have had huge cuts in the last 2-3 years or so, and it has helped, right? You've seen all the big tech companies suddenly reaccelerate their growth, becoming more and more profitable. For Intel, as you see, since it was run by folks that were more focused on paying a dividend and buying back shares of an expensive company, this is usually what you get. And now I'm quite happy with what's going on there. That said, I think there still is a long way to go to get back to the former glory. Because if you look at where Intel was before, if you look at gross profit margin back in 2020, 2021, it was above 50%. Free cash flow margin was closer to 30%. Of course, free cash flow doesn't exist today. And gross profit margin is now what? 30, 35, sometimes a little bit closer to 40%. So yeah, we still have a long way to go to get back to those previous numbers. But of course, right now we also know there is a lot of focus on Intel Foundry. Now we already have a message here from the new CEO. So let's start with the most important one, the usual stuff. I'm extremely honored, etc., etc. One of the things you will learn about me is that I'm never deterred by challenges. Throughout my career, they have motivated me to solve hard problems. As I prepare to come on board, I believe we have a truly unique opportunity to remake our company at one of the most pivotal moments in its history. That's not to say it will be easy, it won't be. But I'm joining because I believe with every fiber of my being that we have what it takes to win. Intel plays an essential role in the technology ecosystem, both in the United States and around the world. And together I'm confident we can turn our business around. Under my leadership, Intel will be an engineering-focused company. We will push ourselves to develop the best products, listen intensely to our customers, and hold ourselves accountable to commitments we make so that we build trust. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if we're not going to see more layoffs in 2025. I subscribe to this simple philosophy: stay humble, work hard, delight our customers. When you anchor yourself in those three core beliefs, good things happen. This has been true in every job I've had, and it's a way I will approach the work ahead as your CEO. We cannot take anything for granted, and we will do regular deep dives to assess our progress. In areas where we have momentum, we will need to double down and extend our advantage. In areas where we are behind the competition, we need to take calculated risks to disrupt and leapfrog. And in areas where our progress has been slower than expected, we need to find new ways to pick up the pace. Now more than ever, our customers are counting on us to pull together as a team and deliver for them. Above all else, this is and will remain our number one priority. And as your CEO, I will empower leaders to take ownership and actions to move our business forward. We have a chance to do something special together. In many ways, we are the founders of the new Intel. We will learn from past mistakes, use setbacks to strengthen our resolve, and choose action over distraction to reach our full potential. Together, we will work hard to restore Intel's position as a world-class products company, establish ourselves as a world-class foundry, and delight our customers like never before. We also have a responsibility to deliver to our shareholders, something I'm equally focused on and expect will be an outcome of a renewed focus on customers. By the way, there was some news that came out also, I think this morning or yesterday, again talking about a TSMC talking with NVIDIA and AMD, a joint venture to, take control or at least part control of Intel Foundry. Of course, we've spoken about that, I think, a week or so ago with TSM, with Broadcom, with Qualcomm, and also with NVIDIA potentially already using or will be using Intel 18A. Again, where there is smoke, there is fire, especially when there are multiple places with smoke. So we'll see. Now with the new CEO, finally, I think we can have more, the company can have more serious discussions, right? Because previously, let's say there were maybe some agreements or some discussions. Who are they going to discuss with, right? With the two CEOs, the co-CEOs. You have co-CEOs, you don't have one CEO. Now we have one, and I think now we're going to see the ball rolling quite quickly when it comes to Intel Foundry. You want to spin it off or you don't want to spin it off. Joint venture, no joint venture. You're going to speak with government now that you have a CEO. So I think things will get, well, quite clear in the next, I would say, quarter and a half, if I would guess. Quarter and a half. In the meantime, they still have to work on, well, the existing roadmap, 18A, make sure that everything is on time and everything is working. Currently, if we look at the stock, yes, there is a nice reaction right now. On the weekly, we're going to go above the 20 and the 50-day moving average, still under the 200-day one, which sits at $24.85. We'll see. We've tried to stay above it last time, back in February. Didn't really work, but now we have a CEO, so a bit less uncertainty. But of course, still that question mark about Intel Foundry. I think that's now the, well, one of the two big uncertainties. One, Intel Foundry, what happens with that? And then second, 18A. 18A, of course, if you listen to the comments that management have made basically in the last couple of weeks, they say it's on time, it's a pretty good one. I guess the market is just in a show it to me first. Show it and then I'll believe you. So we'll see. To be honest, I am quite happy. I am smiling. I'm quite happy, although I'm still in the red, but I'm happy with this appointment. I am very happy that this is a very good name and big name in the semiconductor industry and not another CEO that they've taken off the shelf of an MBA or whatever. So I'm happy. This is good news. We're going to move forward. 2025 is a big year for Intel. I've said this from the start. So yeah, so far so good. Anyways, that's all I've got for you right now. Do share your thoughts down in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, all of that. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.